listening to the TalkBox. You're listening to the TalkBox. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, you guys. Rise and shine. It's your girl, Sonja G, here on the TalkBox. So before we jump into this, I want to make sure that you are liking the video, that you're saying hello down below, so that I know you are here in the place with me today. But you know what we say? Every day above ground is a good day. We got another day, another opportunity to get some things right that we didn't have quite right on yesterday. So therefore, we're in a very good place this morning. We can get some things and change some things. So today is Wisdom Wednesday. And we're talking about what experience is trying to teach you and me. We all go through things, right? So right now, make sure you're sharing the live and make sure you tell somebody, honey, y'all need to hook up and link up and get on the TalkBox right now. There is a word for you. So I'm just thankful today. Again, what is experience trying to teach you? See, first of all, you guys, you need to understand that experience is a message to you. It is not a punishment. And I think that's what people get mixed up. That you think you're being punished because of the experiences that you're going through. But that's not true. The Bible teaches us that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to your purpose. So therefore, I got a few things I want to say. It says every experience carries a lesson, not just your emotions. A lot of times we go through a hard time, or somebody who is our ride or die, they get distant or whatever, and you get all emotional. But the truth of the matter is, to everything, there is a season. So we got to stop being so emotional in this season. Hey, Eb, we got to stop being so emotional in this season and start looking at and knowing and understanding that God is the author and the finisher of our faith, right? So in knowing that, experiences are messages, not punishment, okay? Life doesn't just happen, it speaks. Every experience carries instruction, correction, or confirmation of something. You may be going through something right now, whether it's with, good morning, Marley. Good morning, Tony. You may be going through something right now, you guys, in regards to your children, in regards to your job, in regards to your marriage, your relationship, even your spiritual walk with Christ. But whatever the experience is carrying some type of instruction, because sometimes the thing that I wrote down was your decisions actually guides your destiny. It depends on what decisions you make in life to what direction your life is going to go in. You do know and understand that bad company corrupts good character. So you can have good character all day long, but if you're walking with the wrong crowd, if you're listening to the wrong voices, if you are people pleasing instead of pleasing the audience of one, which is God, then hey, your life may just go in the wrong direction. Experience also carries correction. When we experience something because we've made a bad decision, then we need to learn. Somebody say learn. Write it down in the chat. We need to learn, okay? Because again, your experience, it has a message for you. It's not a punishment. Life doesn't just happen, it speaks to us. and every experience carries instruction, correction, and confirmation. Sometimes you need to know and understand that growth begins. Let's see, how did I put it? Okay, growth begins when we stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? See, if you, why me is a pity state. We don't never want to be in pity. We don't never want to always play the victim, because God says that we're more than conquerors. We are victorious. But if you're constantly saying, why me? Why did I go through the divorce? Why me, Lord? Why did they pick with me at church? Why me? Why me? No, not no why me. God, you are the author and the finisher of my faith. I could have got up this morning and said, why me, Lord? Why am I having this hip pain? Well, sometimes your answer could be from the previous decisions that you have made in the past. Everything have consequences. God said, don't get it twisted. Whatsoever you sow, you're going to reap, right? So instead of saying, why me? Let's start saying, why now? Why is this happening now? What am I supposed to learn? Again, Romans 8:28, all things is working together for your good because God called you to your purpose. And what about Job 33:14 and 15? God speaks in more ways than we recognize, okay? And have you ever thought about maybe if you continuing in a cycle, maybe you're repeating experiences because God is revealing the unlearned lessons. A lot of times, you guys, that's why I say you go through things over and over, you haven't learned a lesson. So what you don't learn, you will repeat. Let me say that again. What you don't learn, you will repeat. Okay? You need to know that. So, hey, we're doing better in 2026. So what is experience trying to teach you and to teach me? Well, it's teaching us that them repeated experiences say that we ain't learned something. We keep going around and round in circles. And a lot of times it's because we're playing the victim. We got to stop playing the victim and allow God to saturate us and let us know that we're more than conquerors and we are victorious. That way we don't have to constantly go around the circle. But see, the truth of the matter is when you're playing a victim day in and day out, you forget how to be victorious. You forget that God said that he sent his son Jesus to die on the cross so that you could have life and life more abundant. How many of us is living beneath what God have said that we could have? A lot of us, because we're playing the victim. So we can't play the victim. And if the same situation keeps showing up, the lesson has not been completed. You got to think about that. See, when you get in a pattern, the pattern exposes areas of immaturity, fear, or disobedience. When you get caught in a pattern and you keep going around and round and you keep going through the same, especially destructive experiences, that is exposing some areas in our lives, areas of immaturity. That woe is me. Areas in that we're fearful. We're going around and round in business, around and round on our jobs because we're afraid. But fear is false evidence appearing real. That's faith. Or you're trapped in a cycle because of disobedience. Disobedience will bring about us being caught in a vicious cycle. God will revisit a lesson until alignment happens. So we want to align with God's good and perfect will. Does that mean that we're going to be perfect? No, by no means, because none of us is perfect, but we all should be striving. And again, Bad company corrupts good character. Have you ever started hanging around somebody who was moping all the time, and then you found yourself moping every day? And when we're supposed to be looking at our glasses as half full instead of half empty, have you ever been around some folk, honey? Ever been around some folk that is constantly cussing and you never curse, but then now all of a sudden you starting to cuss? Bad company corrupts good character. So just know when we're going through things, God will revisit that lesson until alignment comes. You remember Job, don't you? Job was going through a lot of things, but Job made it through and received so much better. You know, we can get 100-fold back on all of these when we start making good decisions. The Bible tells us also, do not be transformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you will know God's good and perfect will for your life. Proverbs 26:11 says, a fool returns to the same mistakes. Are we a fool today? A fool, Proverbs 26:11. I didn't say it, God said it. A fool returns to his previous mistakes over and over, caught in a cycle. Hebrews 12:11 says, discipline yields righteousness when learned. We got to have discipline, you guys. Okay? And I want you to know today that pressure is producing something in you. I know we don't like it. It don't feel good when we're going through, but you got to understand, in order for that diamond to shine, did you know that diamonds start off, they're black, they're in the diamond mine, they got all this stuff on them, and they have to be chipped and chiseled, and then they have to go in the fire to produce this beautiful diamond. Well, I want you to know today that you are God's diamond. But you need to know and understand that pressure is producing something in you. I mean it. Pressure is producing something in you. Now, I'm going to tell you, but if you're making bad decisions, that also produces something in you. Okay? Thomas said, discipline builds righteousness when learned. Yes, that's at Hebrews, baby. And that is the word. So anyway, experience stretches our capacity, our endurance, our character. How can you have character, or how can you even have a testimony if you don't go through anything? The experiences that we go through, it is not just for ourselves, it's also for others, so that somebody else can see that you can go through a bad experience and still stand straight on the word. I remember when my children passed away 6 months apart, I had to preach my way through that thing so that my character could still stand. And sometimes, even now, I may make a bad decision and it chips away your character. Don't you know that the enemy is trying to sabotage your character? Somebody in the download in the chat say, "Not me, not me." Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. And what feels heavy is often preparing you for something heavier. It's like when we go into the gym and we're lifting weights. We lift weights and we start off lifting 10 pounds. And it's hard. But then we want to start lifting 20 pounds. So in order to do that, we got to keep on pressing. And it's preparing you for something weightier, for something heavier, so that you can endure. The race is not given to the swift, but to the one that endured unto the end. Okay? I love the scripture that also says, I don't even remember where it is, but it says, hey, Tika, it says that don't you grow weary in your well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. So your prayer every day should be, God, strengthen me so that I don't faint. Don't faint. That's what I'm telling everybody today. That's what I'm telling myself today. So God develops who you are, not just what you do. James 1, let's see, where is it at? James 1, 2 through 4. Trials produce patience and maturity. How can you mature? How can you? That's why I tell people, be careful what you're praying for. You praying, God, I need more patience. I need more patience. Well, guess what? God is going to send you. He's going to send you situations and circumstances and issues that will create the areas so that you can become patient. 2 Corinthians 4:17 says temporary trouble produces eternal weight. So everything is temporary. Again, to everything, there is a season. So know that you're not going through this right now for nothing. You're going through for others. You're going through to get strengthened. You're going through to build character. You're going through so that you can give your testimony. Because somebody else needs to overcome what you're going through, and they need to know how to do it with God. Somebody say with God. That's what I'm talking about this morning, honey. This morning, I'm feeling blessed this morning. Experience teaches us also discernment. You know, when we go through an issue with someone who we thought was our friend, and they end up backstabbing you or whatever, you learn who to trust, when to speak, and when to walk away. That experience teaches you and strengthens you for a time that it may come up again. So you learn who to trust when you're going through bad experiences. And you learn most of all when to walk away. For me, it teaches me how to shut up because I talk too much at times. So an experience sharpens your wisdom faster than advice. So let me tell you, somebody can tell you all day long that you ain't got no business talking to this man or this woman, or you don't have no business working at a bar because you're an alcoholic. Well, the truth of the matter is we can give and get advice all day long, but experience sharpens your wisdom faster. My pastor got this thing that he says God can just trust you with trouble. Tika, I think you know a little bit about that now. And so when we experience things, when we experience letdowns, when we experience losing our job, when we experience a house in foreclosure, when we experience a car being picked up, that experience teaches us faster than advice. Somebody been telling you for years, you need to pay your tithes, but you ain't paying your tithes, then your finances crumble. Somebody been telling you for years that man ain't good for you. That man beating on you, you need to leave. You got to experience. That experience will give you wisdom faster than advice. Amen. That's a good one. Some lessons can only be learned by living them. And I know that sounds harsh, but some lessons just can't be learned by you in a textbook. You done read what a marriage is supposed to be. You done read your job description on the job, but until you experience it. So Proverbs says, listen and gain wisdom for the future. We got a lot to learn in this season because so many things is happening. But mature believers discern through the experiences. Does that mean you're going to get it right all the time? No, not by no means will you get it right all the time. But the more you experience and the more you put wisdom to practice during your issues, you know what we say here on the TalkBox, you got to learn how to push past your pain, the pressure, and your problems and pursue the promise. Pursue the prize. The prize is abundant living. The abundant living is having peace that surpasses all understanding, regardless of what's going on. But again, Experience is trying to teach you some things. Experience is trying to teach you that bad company corrupts good character. Experience is trying to teach you that when you are up against, your back is up against the wall. Experience is trying to teach you that couldn't nobody else get you out of that situation but God. Experience is trying to teach you that you need to lean and trust on God before you try to call somebody for some advice. So mature believers discern through experience by contacting God, by getting on their knees. Experience redefines your identity. Experience lets people know that you are a true believer and a God-fearing woman or man. See, pain exposes these false labels and confirms God's truth about you. You might go through pain, but you still praising God anyway. You've lost things, different things have come into your life. You're tired, you're worn out, but at the same time, that experience separates calling from convenience. Some of us is just living in a life of convenience instead of walking in your calling. But I'm here to tell you today that God can bless you better than anything that you have for yourself. When I tried to do it for myself, then those things tend to be temporary. But I don't know about you, but regardless of what's going on in my life, I want to be able to call upon God and to walk in his wisdom so that those seasons don't last so long. Sometimes we stay in a season of turmoil, a season of disgust, a season of depression. We stay longer than what God would have us to because we refuse to be thankful. We refuse. So you can discover what you can survive and who God is to you when you're going through something. So I don't know about you, okay? I want to let you know that somewhere in Isaiah, God tells us that he is with us through the fire and through the flood. You are not alone. We're going to be refined like fine gold if we hang in there. This experiences that we're going through is just preparing us to be able to serve others, to be able to help somebody else through. And so what you survive becomes what you're qualified to help others through. That's why I feel funny when I know people have been through certain things and then you refuse to give your testimony because that makes you qualified. Because experience creates your credibility, not just your knowledge. Again, you can read all the books in the world, but your story is somebody else's roadmap to redemption, somebody else's roadmap to freedom, somebody else's roadmap to happiness, somebody else's roadmap to peace. Okay? So comfort others with what you've received. Don't be afraid to give your testimony. Okay? Again, we're overcome by our testimony. So the question that changes everything is not why is this happening, but what is this teaching me about God, about myself, about my purpose? When the lesson is learned, the season will shift. When the lesson is learned, the season will shift. So acknowledge him and he will direct your path. So just remember that your decisions guides your destiny. Experience is the classroom. Life is your curriculum. And wisdom is the reward for those willing to learn. I don't know about you, but I feel so much better. So if you want to, stay playing the victim, that's on you. But I came to tell you that you are more than conqueror. You are victorious. I hope and pray that I've said something to help you along life's journey. And just remember, today is Wisdom Wednesday. And what is this experience trying to teach you? It's teaching you that you can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Well, I'm your girl, Sonja G, here on the TalkBox. We'll see you next time. Same place. Bye.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, you're listening to the TalkBox with Son. You're listening to the TalkBox. Let's talk about it.